university campus. It was a ecosystem where we had school, we had Gurukul, we had a monastery campus, we had a university campus, everything. And like our whole day was bustling there. Our every day we went on to serve so many people. We would enrich, conduct so many different activities, community services, enriching so many people with the principles, with the Hindu principles that Swamiji has gifted the humanity with. Each day we were having amazing every day was filled with so many different activities. We would actually go and give the annadan, the free distribution of sattvic food, and we would go and give healing to people who are in need, or we would go and meet people, perform homas and pujas in their houses, and offer various different courses, programs. And along with all this, we also had personally, for me, I had an amazing opportunity to lead various different projects, collaborate with various different opinion makers, thinkers, decision makers, and um, people who are celebrities and influencers from various walks of lives.
Like, what's actually, could you explain what's happening in this photograph?
This is actually one of the meeting that we had, where we had the IAS officers, commissioners, and um, all the, actually, I should say the cream of the society present there, which is where we were sharing about the mission and the vision of Yogini Sarvagya Peetam. And we can see, along with myself, there are other yoginis from the monastery campus, which is the all women Hindu University campus. So we were sharing about the mission and what we do.
That's wonderful. So every time, so this is how the whole yeah, Kailasa's Nityananda Yogini Sarvagya Peetam was built, right? Like the kind of work that was being done. And what's happening in this particular photograph?
So this is another beautiful meeting that we had with Mr. Alan Robert Border. So Alan Border, and he is literally worshipped as a god of cricket in Australia and a renowned cricket player, and he's a legendary in himself. And
So, like working from the grassroots level and all the way to the top cream of the society, where going one by one and enriching them and sharing with them the need, what is the vision of Kailasa, what is the need of Kailasa, why Hinduism, the authentic Hinduism needs to be revived, what is Swamiji's vision for humanity, the contribution of Swamiji's, the work that Swamiji is doing. And just through that, the entire Kailasa's Nityananda Yogini Sarvagya Peetam was built. And it was something so amazing because people, especially when the influencers, celebrities, thinkers, when they are seeing that such authentic work is happening, whether conducting sessions or giving healing service to people or going and conducting the training sessions for people, kids, children that are visually impaired, and giving them this, gifting them with the science of third eye, where even without the use of the physical eyes, they started seeing. We had all these amazing breakthroughs that were happening in the Kailasa Nityananda Yogini Sarvagya. So it was during this time actually. So it was completely run by I. During this time, I was still traveling abroad. I was having world tour after world tour, and you were back in Gujarat during
yes,
this time. So
and
how was it at that time?
we had so many different activities that we used to do, and actually, I'd say we had a very joyful and a very active life there, like with programs, various different things that we do, and it was wonderful throughout that whole time. And that was actually, I would say, one of my most happiest, like one of the most happiest part of my life, because it was then just then that I had even graduated from the Gurukul. I had turned 18 and I had completed my studies, and um I actually started, going out and being part of various different projects and activities. So it was very, very intense and beautiful life.
And I also see many participants, viewers that are commenting here. Nityanandam to all of you. I see Madevi Karani saying, congratulations, smart truth prevails. Thank you so much. And Madhujati has posted saying, I can relate this. Congrats to Swamiji, you sisters, and all Sangha. This is a typical malignant narcissist that culinary is. Absolutely. Actually, this culinary Janardhan is, I mean, I'm going to share with you a lot more details further down because the kind of crimes that he has committed and why this whole attack happened is what we are going to be sharing in this video. Citing is saying, Kailasa will be great again. Absolutely, with Swamiji's blessings. And it is really what Swamiji has sacrificed, has been sacrificing, and what Swamiji is doing is something, it's just mind-boggling and just amazing. Ma Bilasha May Hope Nityanandam, Ma Eva Anderson has put stand with Dharma and victory is assured. Yes, absolutely. And that is what Swamiji had experientially given to us. So, Nityananda, coming back to this. So, when it was happening, was it all completely by women? Like, how was
Actually, it
it?
was a completely all women university campus. It was completely run by women for women.
And actually, in Kailasa, there's a policy. We have 80% leadership. The leadership, 80% of the leadership is with women. The women empowerment that Swamiji does is completely to a next level. It's not just cerebral opportunities alone, but the very consciousness is empowered. And 80% of leadership in Kailasa is women. And this was actually like the way how Swamiji was making this Kailasa happen, specifically Kailasa's Nityananda Yogini serving it become happen. This was a time how one by one, very, very powerfully, Swamiji had transformed the lives of thousands of women. What type of people were there? Like when in Kailasa's Nityananda Yogini serving it, they'll just call it as YSJP. So it's easier. Uh, what type of people, like people from what all types of backgrounds used to come there, and what all countries you had?
We had
there?
people from various different parts of the globe, like we had people from Malaysia, China. We had people from Singapore, Mauritius, US, and Europe, UK, and we even had people from Africa. So many different parts of the globe, literally from everywhere. Of course, including India naturally. We had people from all over the place, all over the globe, who had come there to practice and to taste this authentic Hindu lifestyle that Swamiji was reviving there. So it was during this time, and just to give a background about how this culinary Janardhan is, he is a misogynist and always this the mentality is such that he always suppresses women and is completely allergic literally to women empowerment, like highly extremely racist and does not want any kind of empowerment for women to happen. So when this was happening, when the YSDB, the Yogini Sarvagnya Peetham was being established, and so many women were being empowered. This and there's one more incident together was the main reason why this attack happened. As I was mentioning, I was traveling abroad, I was continuing my world tour, and at that point, while all this was happening, great breakthroughs. Every day we used to have I remember you used to share with me saying that you just went and helped the people from disaster Absolutely,
relief
yes.
programs. And I remember I think you even shared what flood or earthquake, like how
Yeah, we had actually, we even been to groups where kids who suffered from the Gujarat earthquakes. And, we had conducted, even we have been to children who are visually impaired and the deaf and dumb children, all of these places. And actually, I have seen, witnessed amazing miracles, transformation, the kind of joy that these people would have when they taste that healing, when they taste that transformation and that experience. And that was phenomenal.
so when this was happening, I was traveling abroad, and that's when I was reviewing some bills. That time I found out about the fraudulence that this culinary Janardhan was doing. He was embezzling huge amount of money. He was embezzling directly from Swamiji and Kailasa. Immediately I called and I confronted him. He started, he suddenly started threatening me. First he tried silencing me and I said, impossible. And I said, it has to stop now, and I'm going to bring out his crimes to light. I said, I thought you had changed, but no. And I'm going to bring it to light because you're stealing directly from Swamiji, you're stealing from Kailasa. And this period is when he first tried threatening me and silencing me when I was not getting silenced and I was not stopping. He decided to use a completely different tactic. He stopped responding to my calls, he stopped answering my calls, and he instead decided to use, to weaponize both of us, to use us as response, weaponize the two of us, and to file a false rape charge on Swamiji. Understand, weaponization of women have been used time and again in various. Just see the masters, just in the last 200 years. Study the history of our masters. So many enlightened masters, enlightened beings have been persecuted in the exact same manner. How many of you are aware of this? Weaponization of women has been used as a tool. This is being used as a very, very, very strong tool.
And understand, this is not an independent, standalone, isolated incident. If we visit the history of just the last, let's say, 90 years, you will see every Hindu guru is strategically attacked using this exact same method, exact same strategy. All the Hindumisic elements, the anti-Hindu elements, they would isolate the guru, demonize, and they would attack the guru, weaponizing women. If there are some small organizations, they would be labeled as thieves. If they're independent sadhus, they would be labeled as thieves and mob lynched and killed. If it's a huge organization, if it's a bigger group, they will always just go back in the history and see. They will always be targeted, persecuted, and a woman disciple will be weaponized to allege some false charges on the guru of rape or any sexual assault, and the guru would be assassinated.
And understand, this has been happening time and again. This is not like, as she was just mentioning, this is not at all something like we are thinking. Even our own Sangha people also still believe that, okay, this is happening just to Swamiji.
And unfortunately, that's one of the major delusion, or I should say, that's a major setback, because we never realize the kind of the huge volume in which this attack happens. These are not independent, separate incidents. If only when we see that, only when we wake up to that truth, only when we wake up to that reality, we will understand how Swamiji is a personification of um, the the sacrifice of all the gurus who have been persecuted and attacked. He is personifying all of their sacrifice. He is a personification of all of their vision, and Swamiji is working with all that responsibility on himself. And this incident is not a separate one. Time and again, this has been happening persistently, continuously. Gurus have been targeted, attacked, imprisoned. Many of them have been killed many of them have been illegally, unfairly killed in the process.
Who all here have seen this? I request you all to take a moment. Understand, it is very, very important that every single Hindu, every single one of us join here and share. What did you understand? Like, how many of you are able to see through this? How many examples like this are you able to see? Where really our masters have been attacked, have been persecuted using this exact same tactic. Please take a moment. I really request you all to type it in the comment section. It's important that the Hindus wake up to this. Please take a moment and please share this with us. Just here we have a list for all of you. We have a collection of people. We all can see how continuously same tactic again and again and again, accusing of if there's a big organization, falsely file a false rape charge, slap a false rape charge, persecute and assassinate. This has been used, the weaponization of women and persecution of our Hindu sadhus has been used time and again. We are not talking about what not just about the colonial past or the Hindu Holocaust that we've been subject to in the past, but the same Holocaust which is continuing till this day. And this same tactic was used on Swamiji. And this time they decided in 2010, when this attack happened, when the first time when a false, exactly like this, a false rape charge was filed on Swamiji, which the US court had exonerated Swamiji and has given over $500,000 on fine for these people, the people who filed this false complaint. That was such a baseless and ridiculous case. It did not even have any victims. Understand the kind of the ridiculousness. The
The
same,
baselessness, the
absolutely.
absolute, like it's completely fabricated and it's a propaganda. It's very clear propaganda.
And that same tactic was being used over here. They try to make us as pawns for them to execute their plan. We were trying the this culinary Janardhan was trying to use both of us as his pawns to do this exact same thing. He wanted to file a false rape charge on Swamiji and use that. He thought he could use that and blackmail and extort more money since his plan one of embezzling the money under the pretext of purchases miserably got exposed. I request you all take a few minutes now and please share whatever you have understood so far because it's very important that everybody, all of us, are understanding what exactly is happening. It's very, very important that all of us are cognizing the gravity of the situation and what a great victory we have received after so much of attack and persecution.
And we will only value this victory only when we understand this is not a standalone independent one. Only when we understand the backdrop against which this whole onslaught of attacks has happened. And it is also important for all of us to know the series of incidents which clearly establish what we are seeing. Understand, towards the end of right after she had actually discovered the all the financial embezzlement, towards the end of October 2019, Janardhan Sharma actually called me and started threatening me to file a false rape charge against Swamiji. I was shocked. Actually, I still remember the whole series of events that happened. Suddenly, I received a call under the pretext of resolving family matters. He pressurized me to take leave and come away from the main campus. And when myself and my younger siblings went there, neither of them turned up. And we were calling, messaging, no response. And after a few days, on the 1st of November, suddenly he called me and he started threatening me to file a false rape charge against Swamiji. I was shocked. I could not even comprehend or wrap my head around what was going on. He started, I still remember, he said he would go to any extent, even if need be, even to kidnap me, to make me do this. I was, I knew he had malicious intentions with so many, I knew his character, but to see the way to suddenly go through this whole thing, because Swamiji was more than a guru to me, he was God, he was like mother and father. And this entire thing, suddenly receiving this phone call and he was pressurizing me, threatening me, was just too much for me to digest, too much for me to comprehend. Even before I could wrap my head around it, of course, immediately I first clearly refuted. I said, no, I will never do such a thing. After which he went on to start psychologically harassing and threatening me to do. And even as I was just reeling from this shock, at the same time, in matter of just 10 minutes, he had mobilized a group of policemen, media, national media channels, and he used his strong ties with the deep state to gather even politicians and militant groups, every one of them, around 60 to 70 men, and all of them, he took every one of them to the main university campus, and he retaliated in the worst way possible. He went there with the media channel and he started claiming that myself and my younger siblings were in some illegal confinement, and then that we were missing, which is absolutely false because he had asked us to stay in a separate place.
In fact, the leave letter that you have handwritten here and given in the 19th of October 2019, that's when he had asked you. That leave letter by itself proves. And not just that, actually we have even the location. We have various evidences showing the falsity of this case. Here you can
Actually,
see.
this was one of the photos we took when we were waiting here, and actually we can see the exact map, like it is about 15 to 20 minutes away from the main university campus.
And all of a sudden, so many men. It was
You guys can see they have police, they have media. You can see so many people, politicians, police, media, and you can even see goons. Just random people were barging into the campus. And all of this when I was waiting away from the campus. And here he gathered, mobilized his entire group here. And he went on the live national media channels, flashed my photographs, and said that I was kidnapped. I was shocked. I actually immediately rushed to the main campus, as you all can see in the pictures. I immediately rushed to the main campus because I knew the whole thing was a lie. I did every possible thing to tell them that this whole thing is false. It is not true. I was not kidnapped. I was not in any confinement. In fact, it was Janardana Sharma who made me stay away from the campus and he launched his whole attack.
Janardhan, the culinary Janardhan, he is he's actually very, very greedy for money. Just to extort money. Imagine and see. I'm just going to play this clip a few more times. You all can see here this culinary Janardhan walking right there, walking and going and mobilizing. And we can also see a politician named Kashyap Jani, who's also simultaneously mobilizing this entire mob. At night, all of them are barging into an all women university campus.
And
How
all
can
of them
men?
are charge sheeted rowdies. You can see, along with the police, are also charge sheeted rowdies. Media, every one of them are barging in. In addition to this, they even gathered villagers from around. We had so random people just come into the campus, just walk into the campus at night. It was
They
an all women.
broke open the gate and they barged into the campus and they started harassing the female sannyasis and the minor children that were there. And this was horrifying. And I wanted to state something over here. This happened on the 1st of November 2019. There was no police complaint. There was absolutely no police complaint till I think till what? Next 17 days, there was no
There
police
was no
complaint. Based on what? If it was just a family dispute, like how it's being quoted all over the different media channels, if it was really just a family dispute, why would politicians, police, so many deep state elements, rowdies, mercenaries who have crime records on them, how all of them, and including the child welfare committee, suddenly are able to come at one spot in a matter of few minutes, and so many national media channels, state and national media channels, the Hindumisic channels are able to gather over there. How can one person mobilize this entire thing if it was just a family dispute? Understand, it was not a mere family dispute. It was a well orchestrated political persecution that was criminally calculated way orchestrated by culinary Janardhana Sharma, who a pedophile and a serial sexual offender and a very, very racist misogynist, just to cover up his financial embezzlement and to find another means to extort more money, used his political clout, used his deep state network, and anti-Hindu media to do this attack, to launch this attack. Otherwise, I can't really, when I see this clipping, I really can't understand. In what manner does it even make sense? How can so many people, men, just barge in without even having a police complaint? Without, like, even at the police complaint, you cannot have so many men barge in, that too at night, in a residential all-women university campus. I request everyone to take a moment and please post it here. How do each of you feel about this? How is it okay? Why? Just because we decided to be Hindu sannyasis? Why are we supposed to be subject to this?
If you look today, right, let's say a Jain monk, a Jain takes monkhood. Media celebrates them, everyone talks about it, people are also proud about it. Let's say a Buddhist takes monkhood. People revere it, people celebrate it. But why is it that when we Hindu women take sannyas, people weaponize us against our gurus? People target our gurus, persecute, attack our gurus using us. If this is a clear planned persecution on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, it's a propaganda. And every bit of it, not just barging in. Actually, right after I saw this, I immediately rushed to the main campus and I met with the police, and almost 6 to 7 hours it went by for me to even get a chance to give a statement in writing. After that also, it still continued. I had hours of pleading them. Continuously, I was being forced and threatened, not just by the police, even by the charge sheeted rowdies and the media and so many people that were there. Continuously, they were all pressurizing me, threatening me to be handed over back to both of them.
I mean,
I continuously begged them. I still remember it was just too much for me to even comprehend. And as all of these were happening, I am here. I mean, I'm in front of all of them, the media, in front of the police, in front of everyone. And I'm telling, I am here. I am not kidnapped. I'm a major. I'm an adult. And out of my free will, I have chosen this path of sannyas to live with Swamiji and to live with Kailasa. As I am telling, my pictures are being flashed in the media, and they're everyone, left, right, and center, they're all sharing it everywhere on the media saying I was kidnapped. How so ridiculous? How so baseless? How so frivolous is this? Why is it that when we are stating the fact, when we are stating the truth, we have been continuously from day one? I have given my statement in writing. I met with the police. I have given my statement in writing, but nobody published it.
To me is completely illegal, and my mom and my dad are trying to drag me out of this place. They've literally been trying to kidnap me away.
अगर नंदिता के लिए जरूरत पड़ी तो यहाँ पे ये आश्रम भी जलाना पड़े तो जला देंगे हम यहाँ से जला देंगे.
It was around the month of October 29. My father one day called me, forced me to get leave, saying that he wants to resolve some family issues, and he made myself, my younger siblings, 2 younger siblings, come to a campus which is located a little away from our main university campus in Gujarat. And all the 3 of us, myself and my 2 younger siblings, we went there and were waiting there for them to come. Long time went by, but neither my father nor my mother turned up, and they neither answered my calls, messages, nothing. There was no communication from them further. And a long time went by, and suddenly on the 1st of November, I still remember, it was one of the worst moments. I got a call from my father, and I still remember I picked up the call. I wanted to ask him first, why did you not come all these days? I've been waiting for you here. But what the conversation turned out to be still shocks me. Actually, it still shakes me as I talk. He started threatening me the moment I picked up the phone. He spoke in extremely commanding tone, in a threatening manner. His demand was straight. he said, you have to leave Kailasa, you have to leave the Sangha, you have to come back home, and you have to file a false rape charge against Swami. But I was clear. Swamiji was more than a mother and father to me. He was my guru, he was my God, he was everything. And when he threatened, I could not even respond. My throat dried up. And I was very clear from my being. I was very clear. I will never do such a thing. Even before I could recollect myself from that shock, he got around 15 to 20 vehicles of policemen, media, rowdies, everyone, and turned up in the main campus while I was waiting for them to come in the location that he had called me. But instead of my parents coming there, they took 15 to 20 vehicles of people and turned up in the main campus, and he lied to the media, to the police, to everyone that I was kidnapped and kept elsewhere. But the truth was that I was waiting for him to come. I was shocked. Around 8 hours, the policemen, media, everyone were pressurizing me, threatening me to go back to my parents.
Nityananda, I just wanted to tell all of you that it is 12:30 in the night and still we are struggling to send that group of men out of the campus. It is around 7-8 hours that the group of men have been here. They've literally been trying to kidnap me away from here.
It was like all the media, they were all flashing their cameras on me, and there were 50 to 60 men around. I had no idea what was happening. They were harassing even the other female sister monks who were staying there in the university campus. They all threatened me, forced me that I have to go back to my parents, despite me telling no, I do not want to go back. I was afraid. My father was forcing me to do something which I did not want to do. It was extremely painful. It was one of the worst moments of my life. I didn't want to. I wanted to be with Swamiji. I wanted to live the path of sannyas.
The persecution that was happening was completely different level. So now when these people and when they were asking you, saying that when they were asking you, saying like, "What now? You have to go back to your parents. They're forcing you." What did you do?
Actually, it was, um, I continuously, and like I had just shared in this video, you can see this video was shot when the um, amount of emotional trauma, like what I went through it was just too much to handle, because continuously they were pressurizing for almost 6 to 7 hours. I was being forced, pressurized, and then I actually met with the police. I went to them. I gave my statement in writing saying that I do not want to meet, I do not want to go back to either of them, both Janardhan Sharma or Bhuvaneshwari. I do not want to go back to them. And I gave my statement in writing to them. And I realized it's no more safe for me to be there. And I decided to come back. I decided to come out of India and join with her. I decided to come and be with her. And that is when I traveled to where she was.
And when she left from India was 5th of November 2018, 2019, right? So this after 5th, it was 5th of November 2019. After that, still the worst part was using our names. Attacks were continuing to happen, and coming and threatening. These kind of attacks were continuously happening. On the other hand, we were continuously making live videos. We were stating clearly, see, we are not kidnapped, we are not kidnapped. We kept repeating this. It was so unfair that not a single media channel even took that up. We even gave live interviews. We gave the interviews. We gave the press statements. Nothing was picked up. Instead, our screenshots were used again to falsely claim as if we have been kidnapped. This kidnap or illegal confinement, isn't it so ridiculous? First of all, I was not even in India. Forget that. First, I have never been to Gujarat. Second, I was not even in India. And Swamiji I had not been to Gujarat in over 10 years.
And Swamiji has never been there to Yogini Sarvajna Peetam ever. And even myself, whom they're alleging that I was kidnapped, I actually physically met with the police. You all can see the photographs. I almost 7 to 12 hours. I literally spent telling the police that I'm not intending to go back to either of them. And I had given my statement clearly in writing as well. I mean, anyone who is in, if anyone is kidnapped or confined, who would have the freedom to go? You can see me here. Actually, I was sitting here, I was talking, I spent hours to them. In fact, I was telling them it's other way around. I was continuously telling, I even made a video statement after it, telling that I'm afraid that they would both the Kulnari Janardhan and Bhuneshwari would kidnap me just to make me fulfill their malicious intentions.
Their motto was very clear. Understand, this was not even a family dispute where he was trying to cover up for his financial embezzlement. No. He was trying to use this as a mean to extort more money because he thought he could use it as pawns, weaponize us, persecute Swamiji, and use this false rape charge and try to extort more money. When we were not budging to this, he decided to honor kill both of us. He decided to honor kill both of us. And series of attacks were launched. The power that this Kulnari Janardhan had built through his illegal activities, a range of illegal activities. It was, imagine, just see this. How can one person immediately have so much news, being false news, fake news, being publicized in all the media handles, state level, local channels and national channels? How at that time? It was very, very evident that this was not any mere family dispute, but a very clearly well orchestrated political persecution against the supreme pontiff of Hinduism. This was very evident. On the 16th of November 2019, it was like 11 days after you left, right? 11 days after she left from India, the police, that time there was no case, there was no complaint even filed, not even no FIR, nothing was registered. But because it became such a national level issue, with this fake news being spread everywhere and hours together of character assassination was happening. So during that time, The police did thorough investigations.
Actually, they came into the campus, they went into the campus, they conducted thorough search. Lot of times there were different groups of people, and police themselves had also gone and conducted thorough search through the campus, after which the police, clearly being thoroughly satisfied that everything was clear, there was nothing illegal, and there was no sort of any kind of illegal activities happening, they declared a clean sheet. They declared, they said that there is nothing suspicious or there's nothing illegal happening here, and they closed the case and declared a clean sheet.
You all can see here, this is a screenshot of this exact video where the police officer can be very clearly seen declaring a clean sheet where he said clearly that this entire complaint is baseless. There's no evidence for it. And by seeing all, after doing thorough investigation and interrogations, they are closing this file and there is absolutely no case in this. So this is what they gave it, saying that this is a clean sheet that they are giving. This was on 16th of November 2019. Actually, we felt thankfully that, oh God, this is over. So we thought everything is over. Less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours. This closed file was reopened because of the power, the deep state connections, a very strong network of atheistic, racist, anti-Hindu forces that this culinary Janardhan was directly connected to, which he built by doing drug peddling and various other illegal activities. That, using that power, he reopened the case. Less than 24 hours. This news, even now you can go and see, Google and see, this news is out on all the national televisions, state-owned televisions everywhere, where the police are clearly saying that declaring the clean sheet and closing the case within less than 24 hours. How can this case reopen again? And this time, a false habeas corpus petition was filed, falsely portraying both of us as victims who are illegally confined in the state of Gujarat. This was after us clearly submitting our travel documents, and we were coming live every single day, like doing this every day,
almost every single day. We have hours of, actually we have been continuously in calls, in contact with the police. We had continuously spoken to them. We had given a press conference. We had done hours of live videos, continuously sharing the facts that we were not in any kind of illegal confinement whatsoever. But one of the most ridiculous part of this whole thing is, while we were continuously coming on live, our clips used to be used on all the media channels, and they used to claim that we are kidnapped. They used to continue claiming that we are kidnapped. Not a single media channel. How come? When the same media is able to publish all the false news on the grounds of fair journalism, they should have published our part of the story, let alone publishing the truth. That's the least to expect. Even to have the basic both sides of the story published was not done. Our side, what we were saying, was not picked up by any media channels. We were continuously saying we are not kidnapped. The visuals were used, our pictures were used, but everywhere they called us the kidnapped girls. You should understand, it is not just being called kidnapped, but the repercussions of it. So many places we saw using us, using our names, weaponizing us. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was attacked. All the media channels, everywhere, they were calling Swamiji all sorts of names, and they were abusing Swamiji.
Understand, this was like that's even now for me, I just cannot take the pain of it. They used to, this culinary Janardhan, Every day he used to go on the social media platforms, live television, like so many medias. He used to abuse Swamiji like anything. Blatant lies. And the worst is, even though we show the evidences, we'll keep requesting the media channels. We send our evidences to them. We give live every single day saying that, look, what that Kulnari Janardhan is saying is lie. Here are the evidences. Please publish them. What he's saying is very targeted. This was targeted on Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in a very clear motive to persecute, persecuting the entire community, persecuting Kailasa, and to make sure the revival of Kailasa is not happening. This was the motto. It was very, very evident. There is actually no interest or intention for the so-called daughters, which is both of us, to be brought back. That was not even the case. That was not even true. In fact, actually, the incident she was narrating on the 1st of November, where the attack had happened, where the men had barged in, and this Kulnari was also there, this Kulnari Janardhan, he was also there and mobilizing the entire network that he had brought in there. I just wanted to tell one thing. He was flashing our photos all over the media. He was flashing our photos saying, oh, I'm not able to reach them. They're illegally confined. They're illegally confined. At the same time, I was in jail at that time, and I was really busy trying to reach him. I was seeing it on live news, and I was shocked by this whole incident. I was calling him. He kept ignoring my calls. I could see him ignore my calls on live. He ignored, he cut, and I tried to WhatsApp, Messenger, I tried through multiple platforms. He kept declining. At the same time, he's blatantly lying on the media, falsely claiming that I'm confined, and that is the reason why he's not able to reach me. This was like, I have no words to say. This was a worst way. The whole law, everything was being manipulated, used as a weapon, and the entire community, moreover, Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, was being attacked. Our voices, how many our live shows we did every day, morning, evening, we'll come do the live videos, continuously telling them, assuring them, saying that, look, we are safe. We are not kidnapped. We are not any sort of kidnapped victims. And we'll even ask them, do we ever look like that? We are not. And what they're claiming as this kidnapped victims is completely false. In fact, I'm actually going to play a very short clipping of one of the videos of Manityanta that was recorded, and where she went live during the same
And
time.
I'm here with all of you sharing today just to assure and ensure that all of you know that I am completely safe and I am on my own free will, have been traveling. And I wanted to make this clear because all of you would have seen that for the past few days, continuously, there are so many multiple media channels and multiple newspapers and so many different people that have started to claim that I have been kidnapped and I'm kept somewhere else. And there are so many other false news that's been going around. And I would just like to clarify myself again that I'm completely safe and I have been traveling continuously on my own free will. And it is so unfortunate that multiple of my videos before that I have been sharing continuously for the past few days have not been considered. And in spite of me telling what is happening exactly, unfortunately, the false claim that is being spread by Janardhan and Bhuneshwari, my parents, has been continuously taken into account, and there are so many media channels that is claiming that I've been kidnapped. And I just want to clarify that I am traveling because of the stress that is being created. Because as a 19-year-old, I don't want to put myself through the stress of having to face media, having to face so many people for a no mistake of mine. And I have chosen to live my life, and there are so many false claims that
both of my parents have been spreading around continuously. And just to keep myself safe and just of not wanting to meet them or not wanting to put myself into that stress and that torture again and again is why I have chosen to travel and out of my own free will. And I request the media and I request everyone else that please do consider, and this is the truth and this is a fact from my side. So I wanted to make it very clear to everyone that this is the truth and this is what I want to share with all of you, that I'm completely safe and it is my own free will, and there is no sort of kidnapping or anything. But I'm afraid that if my parents have gone to the extent of unnecessarily bringing out our family problem, our personal problem into media and unnecessarily all over the place, I am afraid that if I might even, if they're able to go to this extent, they would go to any extent of having to kidnap me, and that is a fear that I have. But as of now, the organization Swamiji or the Sangha has no way kidnapped me or anything. But I am traveling and I am on travel now, and I have chosen to take a break from all the stress that my parents have been putting me through. And this is what I wanted to tell all of you, and I wanted to assure all of you and all the media channels. Thank you. Nityanand.
This is just one of the multiple live videos that we have been giving. Last 5 years, literally every single day, like this, we came, we assured, we said that, look, we are not kidnapped. And we also provided the evidences. We was filed multiple affidavits. We came, provided evidences, read out our affidavits in live. But situation was not changing. Instead, it was becoming worse, worse, and worse. I see more and more comments coming. Milind Tamhaneya, Nityanandam. You see, all political leaders and their cronies from Gujarat committed horrendous crimes on women monks, Gurukul children, and destroyed Kailasa. When will they pay for their sins? And Milind Tamhaneya, the anti-Hindu elements, the deep state elements, a very strong network, and one of the key players in it is the Skulnari Janardhan. Even to this day, these criminals are roaming free. Like how they tried to weaponize us and tried to persecute. And not just that, they went and harassed so many of the sister sannyasis in the Yogini Sarvanya Peetham, the all-women university campus. Those criminals are still roaming around free. If they need to go behind the bars, we need to act up. I humbly request each one of you that are here, please take a moment and share this information. This just today's landmark order needs to reach out to people, because this establishes clearly how all that till now, whatever we have been presenting, along with evidences that the Hindu Holocaust is real, it is happening even now, it is true. It is true. Durjati is saying it was well planned in advance, I think. Absolutely. Otherwise, the entire thing was orchestrated, very well calculated and orchestrated. At a time, go ahead. You can finish. At a time, in multiple places that have happened. At how otherwise? At the same time, all the media handles will post this. How come? Mike B was saying Guruji is here, Guruji is God, and he has come to human beings to enlighten us, and let us not disturb him and let him do the job of a God. Mike, yeah, I do understand your feeling, I do understand your sentiment, and it is very important that we take this to the world. Even now, please take a moment, share this. This has to be shared. This truth, what kind of attack we were subject to, this has to be shared to the world. I really request you all, take a few minutes and share this live video with as many people as possible. This doesn't end over here. In 24 hours, as we mentioned, the case was reopened. This time, a habeas corpus case was filed, falsely claiming we both are being illegally confined in Gujarat, whereas everybody knew we were live, even shared a location with the police, and we submitted our travel documents very clearly stating that we are out of India. I have been out of India since a year before that, and I never went to Gujarat. Swamiji has never been to Gujarat. Swamiji has never even been to that Yogini Sarvanya Peetham. And she was also out of India. So this whole habeas corpus petition fundamentally was baseless. There was no base in it. Like, based on what are they claiming that? She met with the police and I'm giving my travel documents. I come on, I share my live location with the police. I'm sharing my live location from Trinidad with the police. How will I be in Gujarat illegally confined? Understand, this was a tactic used to somehow get us in under his control. This culinary Janardhan clearly used it as a tactic to get us under his control, just so that he can forcefully make us file a false rape charge, file a false POXO charge on Swamiji and use it to attack Swamiji. And you all should know the amount, the extent to which these attacks went. It did not just end with getting the militants and the charge sheeted rowdies that day. From that day onwards, continuously the campus was surrounded by media. It was where all women were staying. Continuously there were attacks, and using his deep state ties, Pulnari Janardhan, he went to the extent of sending militant groups to abduct me. He went to the extent of sending militant groups to forcefully take me from the campus. Actually, under the pretext of searching for me, he used this to send using his deep state cloud, he mobilized militant group. One of the days, he mobilized a militant group called Karani Army, which is actually known. So many complaints are filed on them for the violence that they have caused, and they have lot of complaints, rape complaints on them. And this group of mercenaries, militants, they barged into the all-women university campus. They literally broke into the campus, destroyed the deities. They broke our deities. They looted the jewelry that the deities were wearing. They sexually harassed the female monks, young children, and they barged into the women dormitories. They destroyed the whole campus.
So as you can see, we have more than 30 to 40 media men from all the media and random rowdies who have just barged into our campus. It's a completely female campus with young children, Malasans here, with no permission from our campus. They have just barged in, shooting everything on our campus without permission. Not ready to listen and they're all over the campus, and we have had no control.
Our sannyasis, the monks were all begging, saying that stop, do not enter, do not. How will so many like a mob? This is a
They did not have any permission. They did not have anything. They just barged into the campus and they went on. They literally physically they assaulted so many women. They fought back with everyone. They fought with everyone that was trying to protect the female monks. They got media along with them. And in the national TV, more than 4 times, they declared that they will burn down the campus if their demand of abducting me was not complied with. They had very clearly orchestrated this planned attack. Actually, you all can see how they've all marched into the campus, left, right, and center, going all into all different places, the dormitories of women, the places where women were staying, and they got gathered media and they declared that they would actually burn down the campus. They had actually started
अगर आज
destroying the
आश्रम में अगर
campus.
वो लड़की
Physically,
नहीं
they
लाई
took
गई,
logs and they
ये पूरे
started
आश्रम को
beating
मैं
the
आग लगा के हम पूरी टीम आग लगा देंगे पूरे की आएंगे। और अगर नंदिता के लिए जरूरत पड़ी तो यहाँ पे ये आश्रम भी जलाना पड़े तो जला देंगे हम यहाँ से।
This is actually the very clipping where they are blackmailing and threatening that they are going to burn down the entire university campus if they were not allowed to abduct Manityan. Actually, that itself was a very, very, very criminal plot because everybody knew that she was out of India. And as you get, I remember Manityanta, like every day used to come and tell.
Exactly. And there were hours of live. We did almost 16 hours a day. We had come live providing various evidence. Every single affidavit we filed to the court, we read, we showed that to the public. We had continuously read that out and media. We were doing every possible thing, all over social media, using all platforms to share with the world what was happening, to continuously provide the fact as it was happening to people.
What did you feel when you saw whenever you saw that these mercenaries were coming and threatening, like where this Karni Sena is coming, and they're loudly yelling your name, and they're saying that they're going to burn down the university campus. Just a few weeks before that, you were there in that university campus. And what was your
especially
feeling?
after I had clearly given the statement in writing, and I told them the date when they all came, just 24 hours or 48 hours, just few days before that, I released the statement, the video statement, and I released another statement in writing stating that I am not in the campus and that I had traveled to where my sister was because I felt only safe with her and I decided to travel there. So, after me meeting with the police on the 1st of November, giving my statement in writing, and after me clearly telling the Honorable High Court that I have left India, how come this group of men, the militant group, barge into the campus under the pretext of searching for me when they clearly know, when I have issued a statement to the police that I am not, I do not want to be in India and I wanted to be with my sister. I had given this statement in writing because I was extremely traumatized by what I went through because I clearly knew using his ties with the deep state, both Kulnari, Janardhan and Bhuneshwari, they would go to any extent to get us back into their clutches. I had expressed them. I expressed this to the police. I told them that if I were to be handed over back to them, my life would be over. After telling all of this, and after this statement was public, it was given to everyone. I had posted it on Facebook, everyone. How come this one man, this Kulnari, is able to gather the entire mob of rowdy elements and get them, bash them into the campus? And nobody asked them if their intention was searching for me. Why did they come with logs and sticks? Why did they break down? They broke deities. They walk into our temple campuses with slippers. They harass the female monks. There are multiple videos, that live videos were continuously being uploaded, where the women monks pleaded for help because they were helpless. You all can see here. This is them. This is the head of the militant group who was peeping into the women dormitory. He is, and it is so painful to even tell these things. This exact photograph that you all are seeing, he is actually peeping into the women's bathroom, trying to attack the. It's so painful. He's sexually harassing our sister sannyasis, using our names. He's going there, and this militant group, all of them were serial sexual offenders, and very strong, and they had very strong relationship with this Kulnari Janardhan. He's the one who instigated and sent him here, going in, barging into the women's rooms, dormitories, bathrooms, and harassing them. This was all happening while media, police, deep state elements, mercenaries, everybody being present over here. These are charge-sheeted mercenaries present over here, and everything was happening. And these were live streamed on the national media channels that were anti-Hindu, the Hindumisic media channels, live streamed these. How is this in any way equal to a family dispute? No, it is not. This was 100% a clear anti-Hindu political persecution targeted directly on Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, only to stop his revival of Kailasa, because they knew, they saw the work Swamiji was doing and how this Yogini Sarvajñapeetham was flowering, and like especially anything. In a very short span of time, the amount of difference, the service, already many communities living around were starting to benefit from this. We had Ratha Yatras, we had so many things that were organized. People started recognizing, understanding, and connecting to it, which is what these Hinduisic elements could not handle. And it did not just end here. It went to the extent, single-handedly. Just if you see the events that unfolded in just a matter of days, you will understand the amount of power, influence, and deep state ties this Kulnari Janardhan had. Single-handedly was able to bring down the entire monastery campus. All of you should know. Right after these militant groups barged in, immediately the female monks went and sought protection. And within just a matter of few days, under the pretext of checking the welfare of the children and of the female monks, we had people come into the campus, and I will never forget this. It still pains me a lot when I listen to my young sister monks, young children, when they share their painful experiences, because just a short span of time after this, Kulnari Janardhan, using his connections, got the CWC officials, the so-called Child Welfare Committee officials, to come into the campus. And as per law, any interrogation for a child, minor, or women cannot happen after sunset. But this group came into the campus during the late night. All the children were woken up from the middle of their sleep. No teachers were allowed. None of the parents were allowed to be with the children. And actually, the CWC officials had locked up the parents and all the teachers in another room. And they said they wanted to interrogate the children. They took all the young kids to a room and they asked intimidating, I should say vulgar, disgusting questions to young children. They were asked, I do not even want, it is disgraceful for me to even utter those questions again. Extremely vulgar questions, and it doesn't just end here. It was so painful for me when I watched the video where one of the children, one of the young sister monk of mine, she cried on the video telling morphed deepfake videos of the Supreme Pontiff of Hindus, morphed Swamijis, being showed to her continuously, and they pressurized her to tell that this was true. They tried pressurizing this kid, saying, "Don't be with Swamiji, this is what he is." And that child, she said she went through so much of psychological trauma. She's never seen any such thing. She could not even understand what it is, but all she knew was her guru was being abused. Something lie was being forced upon her. Of course, all the kids, they've all experienced the safe, blissful ambience of Kailasa, so they all knew these were lies. But they were tortured. The kids were force-fed non-veg. They were made to eat as monks, we do not eat non-veg. We have a pure, sattvic, non-violent life. And these kids were force-fed non-veg, harassed for hours together at night. They were under the pretext of checking their welfare. They were tortured. They were made to sign blank papers. It was only after these parents who were traumatized seeing what the children were going through, they had even filed complaint on to the Honorable High Court, expressing the kind of trauma that they went through, seeing that what their children were being subject to. After all of this, just in a matter of days, while we were fighting for justice, Kulnari Janardhan gathered using his political deep state connections. He raised down the entire all women Hindu university campus to grounds. There was no legal there was no legal order, nothing. He used his deep state ties to bring down the entire all women monastery campus to the ground. Overnight, all these young children, the female nuns, were made homeless. You all can see, imagine you do not have a place to stay. Suddenly one day the temple that you're living in, the life, this was our house. We were living here for more than a year. This was our place, our temple, our monastery, our school, university, everything was brought to grounds. It was not just normally brought to grounds. Our deities were destroyed with it. Atmamurtis, the puja worship altars were demolished. You can see the broken pieces of deities.
So painful. Just this one photograph, I just cannot see it. How violently they have broken down Swamiji's, our worship Murti, Swamiji's Murti, and our deities were being broken down by bringing bulldozers in.
And imagine all of this happening where there was no time for any of the female monks to even comprehend. And do you know, during this whole time, all the devices of the female monks were confiscated. They did not have access to even reach out to people for help. Overnight, they were made homeless. All of them had to carry their bags. They grabbed all the deities as much as possible. When I say they, I mean the female monks, the sister sannyasis, they grabbed as many deities as possible, tried to protect them, tried to take it to safety. And they were literally standing outside the campus, waiting, nowhere to go. All the bags, deities, everything outside the campus. And in front of them, the entire monastery campus was being destroyed to grounds. The worst part of this, none of us knew what was going on. Who barged into the campus? Who were these people? Who got the bulldozers? Who got these random mercenaries and militants to barge in? Who gave them the permission? Nothing. They just walked into the campus and they were all led by this Kulnari Janardhan and they destroyed the entire campus. And till this day, what all that they went through, justice is not served. 5 years have passed. But who's responsible? Who will heal? Who will attend to the pain, the suffering that all these young children went through? Who will heal the pain and suffering that all of us went through and are going through, seeing how our guru is being abused?
This is Swamiji's Atmamurti that was violently being broken.
These were all done with the intention to criminally intimidate and hurt us, to psychologically break, so that someone from this team will come forward, will fall for their, will get broken with these tactics, and they wanted to use us, any of us, to fulfill their malicious intentions. Each of these were done to psychologically break both of us. So that's something we used to continuously during this whole time. Kulnari, Janardhan, and Bhuvaneshwari used to continuously come on live and say, now come, now come. They used to try to break us. They said, if you don't come with this, they were blackmailing that they would go to any extent. We were in, I cannot still fathom or even to revisit that back is so painful. Today, yes, I have received the justice, but at what cost? In the suffering, only I know the suffering I went through to see overnight how all my sister monks were made homeless. Imagine and see, so many women were made homeless overnight. The women and children were made homeless overnight. I just wanted to ask all of you. See, now, definitely, this Yogini Sarojini, we have to bring it back. We will bring it back. But what about all the money they looted? What about all the pain, the suffering that they put us through? What can ever equate that? What about them just breaking, collapsing, demolishing the deities, the temple? This was, even now I just cannot see some of these images are very, very, very disturbing especially when you know the kind of hard work that Swamiji has put into each of these and how much, with what viciousness. See, now the truth has come to light, saying that we both are not kidnapped, and this entire case was baseless, it's frivolous, it does not even make sense, and it has been dismissed by the court. But last 5 years, so much has been lost. So much has been lost. Our guru has been continuously being character assassinated. And all this why? Because we refuse to comply with the malicious, Hinduphobic, criminal intention of Kulnari Janardhan. He went and he managed to gather his clout to go to any extent targeting and attacking the supreme pontiff of Hinduism. While this was all happening in India, where we were traveling, we were continuously giving our coming live, and we were continuously available through social media platforms. Immediately, he had hacked into all of our social media platforms. You can see here, this is my Instagram, my Facebook, wherever I used to be available to people. Actually, I used to continuously, every day we were posting photos, we were posting we were coming live, we used to tell people, and we were sharing what we were doing because we want to clarify. This was our key instrument. That time we did not have any other means. And he immediately completely hacked into our profiles. I woke up one day morning seeing abusive tweets about Swamiji on my social media platforms. I was shocked. I could not even understand what was going on. Then I saw suddenly in my Instagram, it would say someone from Chennai is logging in. While I am in Trinidad, someone from Chennai is logging in into my Instagram. And suddenly another day I would receive a notification someone from Mumbai is logging in. I did not understand what was going on. My social media accounts were hacked. I had no medium, no platform, no way to communicate to people. Each of these was not something easy to go through. Continuously, our locations were being tracked. We did our best, both of us, with whatever we had. Despite all of this, we did our best to continuously comply with all the court orders. Continuously we filed the affidavits. We had all of these affidavits attested and notarized, and we kept filing. And every single time, the media would trace our locations, and our locations will be published on newspapers. You all can see the photographs. Continuously, it would be next day, it would be in headlines. They would say, missing sisters, missing sisters. We will keep telling. We would have just given a statement that we're not missing, we're out of our own free will. You can see here, continuously saying which country we are in, from what place, every single time, not once or not twice. You can see places from Virginia or Trinidad and Tobago, every single place that we went to, they would trace, they would track, and that locations would be leaked to the public. And When I say leaked, all of you also should understand what we mean by that. Like immediately after that, we would start receiving um threatening calls. People would say, enough of being there, come, and we know how to get you, we are watching you, we know where you are, we'll come and take you if you don't come by yourself. We used to get such calls, threatening messages. This what what we have been subject to for the last 5 years, just for one reason, for refusing to fall into the be a part of the propaganda, the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We are being we were being used as pawns. We were being used as the weapons to attack the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. This entire persecution is not a standalone family dispute. This is a persecution, a targeted attack on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. You all can see here, whenever we come live, whenever we are coming on live social media videos and a live program, you can see here, this was a live where we are revealing about, like, this is where I was exposing what this culinary Janardhan was doing. And immediately he started abusing me, cyberbullying both of us, and slut shaming us on media channels and on social media. You all can see the kind of abusive comments that he has been posting. And all the while maintaining a completely hypocritical, a very vicious, cunning face, portraying as if he was caring. How come one side this culinary Janardhan was posting in this manner, and one more side going and portraying as if he was not able to contact us? This the blatant lies. It's extremely hurtful. Even now to remember them, it's very, very, very painful. And not just that, here is the affidavit that the culinary Janardhan submitted to the court. And here is the highlight of that affidavit. It very clearly says he wanted our dead bodies to be submitted to him. When we are alive, every day we are coming, talking on the news, we are talking on the social media, we're talking everywhere, we are live, we are posting. The moment he submitted this affidavit, simultaneously at the same time, we had mercenaries, charge-sheeted mercenaries that were following us. He had reached even outside the borders of India. They were after our lives. It was a narrow escape that we even survived those attacks. And to continuously break us psychologically, they had used all the resources, they had used all the possibilities, even as they were tracking us, as they were harassing us while we were traveling. On the other hand, they even had two innocent female monks arrested, Manitya Pranapriyananda and Manitya Priyatatvananda. Actually, we were all female monastery campus. All of them were people from different corners of the world were all gathered there using my name. And both of them had no sort of connection with any of this. Neither Ma Pranapriya nor Ma Pretatva. What issues I was facing, nothing. But just to break me psychologically, to somehow get me back to the clutches, he had both of them, their entire, they as women. Swamiji is an image of a real Vedic system was being revived. He could not handle it. This shows for a Hindu guru to be targeted system, and there is no easy, even with truth, all evidence by our
truth out. And it was not just we were subject to a baseless and a very malicious blue corner notice, actually on 5th of Jan 2020, based on the adhering to the High Court orders. We were presenting ourselves, we were traveling to present ourselves in the nearest Indian embassy. So as we were traveling to that location, in the transit airport, actually, Kulnari Janardhan tracked our location, and the moment, and he exactly even knew to such an extent, he knew where we were transiting, he knew our transit airport. He tracked us to that extent. He tracked our location, and as soon as we started our travel, simultaneously he got, look at the powerful connection he had. He got a blue corner notice that he got a blue corner notice filed upon us. An Interpol blue corner notice was maliciously filed upon us exactly when we were traveling, just so that he could use this, somehow use his deep state connections and capture us, kidnap us, abduct us. And when we were oblivious of this, obviously we are on the flight, we are traveling to the nearby country where there was an Indian embassy. And while we were going there, in the transit airport, I still remember I'm getting out of my flight and I'm just transiting. I was holding my passport in my hand. Both of our passports were just snatched away. And we were traveling along with our attorney, our lawyer, and they just, a group of men took us to a room. They, even now, some of these experiences are very, very, very traumatizing. It's not a joke. Two young women, and this was the kind of persecution we have been through, and they just put us into a room in the airport. They just took us to a room, and the lawyer who had accompanied us, we, as per the United Nations Convention, as per the international law, the fundamental right is for us to have the basic right to access a lawyer. We have the right to remain silent if our lawyer is not there. And we kept requesting, our lawyer was right there, they locked the door. Just group of men surrounding us, they snatched away our belongings. They asked us the most vulgar questions. This was all happening.
Extremely intruding and extremely violating, I would say.
I don't know how to even die. It is just, even now I can't go back to that situation. The kind of questions they were asking us, I can't even repeat it. I don't even want to remember it. They put us to such a pathetic interrogation, and after that interrogation, they did not. Throughout the time, we kept requesting to let our lawyer in. Our lawyer from outside the door, he was continuously asking to let him in. He was continuously banging the door and said, please let me in. Those are my clients and they had the right to remain silent. Let me in. And we were continuously requesting, but we were denied even that fundamental right. After this, then they revealed that this Kulnari Janardhan had used his power and orchestrated this entire attack. The Interpol officials had interrogated us, and they said they were thoroughly satisfied with us. After which, we also provided a written appeal to the Interpol. And once we submitted our written appeal along with our evidences to the Interpol blue corner notice was removed from both of us.
And actually, the Interpol confirmed and they went through all the facts that we provided and they deleted the Interpol notice. But one thing here is to what extent he must have had the connection that he was able to track which airport we were going, which was a transit location, and exactly in the time that we were transiting, our passports were snatched from us. Breakup Indonesia is Obia, yes, filled with joy as the truth has come to light. Honorable High Court of Gujarat, the baseless habeas corpus petition. And in fact, the honorable judges clearly expressed thorough satisfaction after having spoken to us. They said that they are thoroughly satisfied. And in fact, they also noted that they were very happy, they were satisfied that we were not in any kind of a confinement or we were not kidnapped. And they said that we had consciously chosen the path and that we are happy with it. Yes, this is giving us a lot of joy. Finally, we have our what we were saying for the last 5 years has been established as a truth, and our the justice has prevailed. But I'd like to remind every viewer, we cannot our nation go through this time and again. The number of superconscious breakthrough that Swamiji was to do was tremendously affected. Imagine how many thousands of women who were praying to experience a superconscious breakthrough, who were wanting to experience that lifestyle in Yogini Sarvajna Peetham, they lost. How many children who were dreaming of a future education as envisioned by Swamiji lost their future in the last 5 years. Each time we do not have the bandwidth, and we cannot make an incarnation go through this time and again. It cannot take 5 years of draining, 5 years of persecution, targeted attack, character assassination to, and then the truth comes out. In the end, always truth wins. That is absolutely true. But at what cost? What are we losing? What is the cost for this? It is important that we all remember it. The intention why we are reiterating all these facts, I'm seeing many of you commenting. The intention we are reiterating all these facts is for us to remember we cannot let an incarnation go through this again and again and again. We do not have a bandwidth. After stretching his lifespan for 200 years also, Swamiji only has 13% of the total duration of the Hindu Holocaust. We are having an incarnation which is too precious for humanity. We cannot afford to we cannot afford to abuse and persecute an incarnation. We cannot do that. It is the biggest loss for us as humanity. It is high time that we wake up, we share this truth to the world. It is high time that we share this with people. I request every one of you that are watching us live right now to take a few minutes, share it to all your friends, family members, tweet it. Let us hold the media channels accountable. Let us hold all the media channels, everyone that published the false news accountable. They're answerable to us. What we have been put through for the last 5 years, they're answerable. It is not okay for them to go on publishing fake news, false news, and get away with it. And now the truth has come to light. The Honorable High Court has clearly dismissed the petition. And now it is our responsibility for us to use this opportunity to expose all the Hindumisic, Hindu-phobic elements.
How many of you feel this? I actually see so people posting different social media platforms. We just want this was difficult because it's not something that anybody should go through. In every moment, it was terrorizing for us to even at time, like so many times, even we were terrorized even with the idea to come out of our house because we don't know when this culinary Janardhan will attack us, kidnap us. So many kidnapping attempts. It was not something normal. The world witnessed But what attack, even at least in the pandemic or if we were in lockdown, it was it was not that your life was under threat, but for us, the last 5 years, our lives were under threat at the hands of this pedophile, Pulnari Janardhan, and his wife, Bhuvaneshwari. Our lives were under threat. They came on live media channels and threatened us. They even said that they will kill us. They will throw us into mental asylum. These were spoken outrageously on the media channels.
And national media channel.
National media channels. We could not do anything about it. How much ever we tried. But understand, right now, with the grace and blessings of Swami, once again, the justice has prevailed. We had a grand victory today. The justice has prevailed, but it is too important that this truth is told to everyone. I request all of you, please take a few minutes and share this. The kind of attacks that were happening, imagine and see. Actually, this is my prime time of my life. The kind of vision that Swamiji had and what work Swamiji was doing. I wanted to be a part of that. See, for the very first time, historically, for the very first time, the Hindu Holocaust was presented in the United Nations by Swamiji in an international platform. This is not something normal. This is not something that anyone, you would have not seen this happen anywhere else. I wanted to be part of such a grand mission, the revival work Swamiji is doing. This is my prime time of my life. This attack started when I was 20 years old, and now I'm going to turn 25. I have lost the last 5 years of my life. For what? Just because I chose to be a Hindu monk? Just because I wanted to be a Hindu monk and I'm a female and I'm choosing to be Hindu sannyasi as forward in order of KAILASA Nityananda and be Swamiji sannyasi? Just for this, I'm standing up for Hinduism just because I'm exposing the lies, exposing what crimes were being done. The attacks, I just have no words. The attack, the persecution, understand, it is still continuing. Hindu Holocaust is real. Hindu Holocaust is real. And Swamiji, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, is being targeted. More than this, see now, even the court has ordered, the justice has prevailed. We have a court order. The entire falsity, the baselessness of this case has been exposed. The persecution has been exposed. More than this, there's nothing more that is needed to show that this Hindu Holocaust is real.
And this, yes, though the justice has come, and this we offer our gratitude to everyone that has been a part to make this happen. But I am sure I have seen, like, with how the way Swamiji does the tyaga, sacrifice each time when he stands up. I am sure with years of hard work, Swamiji and Kailasa will build back the entire Nityananda Yogini Sarvagya Peetham. But no amount of time, no amount of money, no amount of energy, nothing can heal the kind of suffering and pain that all of us as sannyasis went through, seeing our Guru being persecuted baselessly. Nothing will be able to erase the scar that both of us went through when we were being weaponized against our Guru, our God, Swamiji. And that makes us stand even more stronger, even more firm. We have clearly resolved, and we would like to announce it, we would like to declare it here in front of all of you, that we will use all the legal recourses, because everyone who used us against our Guru is answerable to us. Every single media, every single entity that is responsible for this whole onslaught of attacks and this persecution, we will use all the legal recourses and we will fight back. We will fight for justice and we will leverage all the legal recourses available and fight for justice, and we will get the justice back. We humbly request every single Hindu, each viewer, please take a moment, share this, tweet about this. Please share this in as many platforms as possible. Let the world wake up to the reality of the Hindu Holocaust and what exactly is happening. Your support will make a huge difference. Thank you, Nityananda.
is completely illegal, and my mom and my dad are trying to drag me out of this place. They've literally been trying to kidnap me away.
अगर नंदिता के लिए जरूरत पड़ी तो यहाँ पे ये आश्रम भी जलाना पड़े तो जला देंगे हम यहाँ से जला देंगे.
It was around the month of October 2019. My father one day called me, forced me to get leave, saying that he wants to resolve some family issues, and he made myself, my younger siblings, 2 younger siblings, come to a campus which is located a little away from our main university campus in Gujarat. And all the 3 of us, myself and my 2 younger siblings, we went there and we were waiting there for them to come. Long time went by, but neither my father nor my mother turned up, and they neither answered my calls, messages, nothing. There was no communication from them further. And a long time went by, and suddenly on the 1st of November, I still remember, it was one of the worst moments. I got a call from my father, and I still remember I picked up the call. I wanted to ask him first, why did you not come all these days? I've been waiting for you here. But what the conversation turned out to be still shocks me. Actually, it still shakes me as I talk. He started threatening me the moment I picked up the phone. He spoke in extremely commanding tone, in a threatening manner. His demand was straight. He said, you have to leave Kailasa, you have to leave the Sangha, you have to come back home, and you have to file a false rape charge against Swami. But I was clear, Swamiji was more than a mother and father to me. He was my guru, he was my God, he was everything. And when he threatened, I could not even respond. My throat dried up. And I was very clear from my being. I was very clear. I will never do such a thing. Even before I could recollect myself from that shock, he got around 15 to 20 vehicles of policemen, media, rowdies, everyone, and turned up in the main campus while I was waiting for them to come in the location that he had called me. But instead of my parents coming there, they took 15 to 20 vehicles of people and turned up in the main campus, and he lied to the media, to the police, to everyone that I was kidnapped and kept elsewhere. But the truth was that I was waiting for him to come. I was shocked. Around 8 hours, the policemen, media, everyone were pressurizing me, threatening me to go back to my parents.
Nityananda, I just wanted to tell all of you that it is 12:30 in the night, and still we are struggling to send that group of men out of the campus. It is around 7-8 hours that the group of men have been here. They've literally been trying to kidnap me away from here.
It was like all the media, they were all flashing their cameras on me, and there were 50 to 60 men around. I had no idea what was happening. They were harassing even the other female sister monks who were staying there in the university campus. They all threatened me, forced me that I have to go back to my parents, despite me telling no, I do not want to go back. I was afraid. My father was forcing me to do something which I did not want to do. It was extremely painful. It was one of the worst moments of my life. I didn't want to. I wanted to be with Swamiji. I wanted to live the path of sannyas.